The 2024 NFL Combine is rapidly approaching. Mike and Wayne, myself and Wayne, are going to break down the mastermind behind the draft, especially since Adam Peters is no longer here. All of that and more in today's episode of No Harm, No Foul. Let's get it. Remember that dance that they used to do?
No.
It was like, you don't know what I'm talking about?
Is that from it's like a dance from what's that game the kids play?
Fortnite?
Yeah.
That was not a Fortnite dance, bro.
It could have been.
It was way before then. They was doing this in like the 2012 team.
Maybe Fortnite was out in 2012. We just didn't hear of it. They got the floss. I know that's from Fortnite.
Now, yeah, I could do that a little bit if I'm standing up. I can't do it sitting down, the little floss thing. I'm banging the chair arms and all that stuff. WayneBreezie, what's going on with you, big dog? How you feeling, man?
Good, man. It's Monday, yo, and it's Combine week, right? So now we get to watch players test and work out, and I'm starting to get the reports of the players that aren't going to participate, and so
what's up with my man not throwing, bro? Like, you supposed to be the number one overall joint.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. It's like such a business decision now, right? Like so these kids rather throw at their pro day, where and they're used to their receivers catching and stuff like that. And I think that's whack. Like I feel like the pro day, if anything, should be a bonus. Now, if you're injured and you can't physically participate, that's but. A lot of people don't really even understand like the whole concept like behind the combine. Like y'all have to understand like this is where these kids come out and they get tested like on every level. Like I'm talking physically. They're gonna probably get some of the best doctor treatment they've ever had in their entire lives. This is where you find out if kids will even have an opportunity to play. Like because it starts when I think about the draft process, it starts with the physical, because that's when you realize like, am I going to take this kid? Does he have injury history? Is it detrimental? Is he going to be able to play? Like, so this whole combine situation starts with that. Like these kids might got tested in college, but they're going to get, tested by like real NFL real doctors. What you smirking over there for?
I'm just thinking about everything you're saying, and there's the dark perspective of this whole thing, but it's like the block. It's like being up on the block. Back in the day, people. There's a lot of people that don't like it.
You can look at it like that, but I choose to look at it from the other perspective, right? Because like when I look at when these kids go out there, and like I said, it starts with the physical. When they get their physical done. Let's say they find out they got some type of cancer or something, or something where like NFL can like really speed up the process of their death. Like this is like to be a blessing, right? To know stuff like that, right? Like
that Raiders player that had like the heart. Didn't he have like
Are you talking about Maurice Hurst? He became a 49er, remember?
Was it Hurst? Was that who it was? They found out there was something going on. Yeah. So these guys get some medical attention, some overdue medical attention for these guys that didn't go to the big schools, right? You know what I mean? Now they're out here and they're going through all the rigmarole and they're getting worked out and stretched out. And then there's also the mental side of it too, right? They take aptitude tests and things like that as well.
Which they're being what's the word? They're told not to take it. Like, which look, test on paper, test on a computer, that's one thing. Like, and so like I'm a big advocate I'm not a huge advocate in testing. I don't think standardized testing is the way to go. For some people, it's cool. Some people, They can memorize stuff. They know stuff, whatever, right? Like there's a method to taking a test, I think. But there are all types of learners out there. And so you got your auditory learners, you got your visual learners, you got your kinesthetic types of learners, like the ones that just got to go out there and do it. Like, right? With reps, they get better over time and time. So there's so many different types of learning. But I would tell the players, like, if you get the opportunity to take the app to take those tests that they have for you, just take the tests. Look, didn't oh my gosh, what's the quarterback from the Texans?
Deshaun Watson? No, not him. I'm sorry. CJ Stroud. I apologize.
Didn't he do poorly on the test? Like he took the test and he scored very low. Like very low. And look, he was the freaking rookie of the year. Like offensive player of the year or something like that, right?
Easy too. Like he was
like Sunday morning, bro. Like easy like Sunday morning. So guys, the combine starts this week, and the actual like events, the drills and things like that start on Thursday.
Yeah, and I think that the teams know which guys to pay attention to the test scores to versus the physical. Like I think the combine is it's an opportunity for teams to kind of say, does this line up the way we thought it did? Right? Like I'm gonna insult somebody unintentionally here. Okay, but like nothing about Frank Gore Sr. says that he's a test taker.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair to say so far? But Frank Gore knows football in and out. His football IQ, knowing his assignment, right? And then he had the 2 bad knees coming out. He still went in the 3rd round. Like they knew he was so good coming off of that Miami. Like you couldn't deny that guy. Forget the test. Forget the physical, whatever he did during the combine process. None of that was going to make a difference. Frank Gore was Frank Gore. And they were going to take a shot on him. You know what I'm saying? And so I still think that even, like you said, some people just aren't test takers. I think that these guys that are evaluating these students, these players, these prospects, I think they know we're going to have them do the test. We're going to look at the results, but we're not banking on these results to tell us anything about him.
And like I said, look, it's just data, because it's just data. Like, I wasn't the greatest test taker neither. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that didn't stop me.
I didn't know that.
Right. And so, like, it is what it is. But I would encourage them to take the test. It's offered. See what you score. See what happens. Like, you know what I mean? But like I said, some agents are advising their clients to not take the test. Some of their agents are advising their clients not even to participate. You'll go get the physicals and then be done. Because
let me ask you a question.
These physicals are different than the physicals they've been receiving all their lives. Like these are deep down, because like you said, to that dark side, these kids are now commodities, right? Like they're about to be, I call them mini businesses.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. They are commodities and businesses, right? These guys should be LLCs in their own rights. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you're an agent, okay? Or a manager. I won't even say you're an agent. Let's just call you a manager of a player, okay? And as of right now, based off of your stats, based off of your just everything that we've seen from your 3-year career in college, your 3-year collegiate career, right? You are 12th best at your position. 12th best.
Stipulations in here, but keep going.
We're gonna take out kickers and punters. So you could be your 12th best offensive lineman, or you could specify 12th best center, or you could be 12th best wide receiver. You know what? Let's make you 12th best corner. Let's do this. Let's make you 12th best corner. Okay, all based off of stats. Now you can go and test phenomenally and blow somebody out the water, and there's a chance you could be a number 1 prospect overall, like 1st round prospect overall. Because 12th, you're probably not going in the 1st round, but you should go in the 3rd.
Understood.
In the 3rd, right? But you could go out there and go crazy, and boom, you go way up here, and all of a sudden you can sneak into the 1st round, right? Flip side is you could do something bad, and you could end up falling down to the 6th round. What do you advise that person who has this much to gain but that much to lose? What would you advise that person?
I mean, I don't see it as a loss. I mean, these kids have been training their whole lives, and to me, the only thing that I feel like would hurt a prospect like that is an injury, right? So like for them to drop that far would be an injury. And so look, I don't think if I'm the agent or the manager of this particular prospect, it's get your ass out there, because the higher draft you get, the more money I get. Like at the end of the day, like that's what I'm advising them. And it's not because of that, but you want your client to have the best opportunity to go, the highest. And the only way, this is what the combine is about, right? And so like kudos to those that aren't going to participate, because that's just one less person I got to compete against. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you are the best of the best, Mike, if you're a competitor, if my client is a competitor by nature, my client's going to want to be out there competing, because I don't want to be 12. I want to be 1. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I would advise my client to go out there and show them that you're number 1. Bump number 12. I know what they got you labeled as, but I know what you're capable of, and you know what you're capable of doing. And so
he's got to have the personality too.
Of course. But these kids,
you got to have personality at that point.
Mike, I'm gonna tell you right now, these kids, you haven't met any of these kids. These kids are different. Like they are ready to compete. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just telling you, I met him I met most of the seniors at the Senior Bowl, and I could you see it. Like they out there with the best of the best at this game, and they still trying to make those guys look little. Like they literally are trying to outcompete one another, even though they on the same team, even though they going against each other. So like they have that mindset, and plus they know what's at stake, right? Like they're looking to get drafted, and I think getting drafted is a dream come true. Like, whether you go 1 or whether you go 249 or 51, like 55 or whatever the number is this year, like they want to get drafted. They want the opportunity.
Yeah, I feel you. So, in the absence of Adam Peters, are you nervous about this upcoming draft?
I'm not nervous. I can't explain why, but I feel like Kyle, John, and whoever else is in charge of drafting these prospects, I think the 49ers have a really good scouting system. And I think we've seen it develop. Like during this, they're going into their 8th season now, so we've seen it like kind of like develop. Now I do know that Adam Peters, quote, was kind of responsible for like rounds 5 through 7, but that's only 3 rounds, right? 5, 6, 7. So it's these other first rounds, and I think the way the Niners are built now, I think that's why I'm not worried, because the system is built, like the structure is built on how to draft. Like we know what we need, and now we need to plug in here and play here. So it's not like they got to get all 11 picks right. We want them to, but I don't think they have to.
So the scouting seems to be a proven commodity in the 49ers.
It's starting
process.
I agree, because now you're starting to see what we call copycat elite. So now you're seeing other teams draft like the 49ers. Watch how many quarterbacks, not big, watch how many quarterbacks go late in this draft, bro. Just watch.
But we just did that. That was an anomaly.
I'm trying to tell. Just watch the trend that the Niners started. I almost think it was by design.
Do you think that the implementation of these young players, like getting them on the field and getting them playing time, I'm talking just under the 49ers umbrella.
Okay, I like where you're going.
The process of getting them on the field versus the scouting process, do you think that those are aligned?
That's a great question, Mike. I don't think the Niners are drafting prospects to play right now. I think when they draft and when they scout, they're scouting players to develop. and be ready a year, 2 later.
Period.
Now there's some situations where they might have to draft a player and there's an injury to a position and they need that player to step up and get their butts out there. And we saw that 2 years ago with Spencer Burford, but
you don't think there's a problem with that?
I don't think that. Well, I mean, so you feel like when we draft a player, they should be plug and play and ready to go?
Some, yes. If I feel like if you're drafted within the first 64 in those first 2 rounds, you should be ready to walk on the field and contribute some. Like
we see that.
How many?
So there's a big difference.
How many rookies did Andy Reid just win the Super Bowl with? Like contributing factors throughout the course of the year. Kyle Shanahan would never on his offensive side of the ball have.
But they didn't have a choice, and they went and got McCole Hardman this season.
They did have a choice.
They didn't have a choice.
He could have done what Kyle does and go and get rookies. I mean, he could go and get veterans to supplement the role of the rookies and just let them be on the bench.
One to 2 rookies, bro.
There was Rashee Rice, and then there was the running back. Those are key guys.
Pacheco wasn't a rookie, bro. It's the second year.
Who?
Pacheco, you said the running back.
Oh yeah. You're right. This was the second year. Damn, I thought they had a rookie running back too, but you're right. I just feel like Kyle ain't putting rookies out there if he don't have to. And I think that's a problem because what happens is they sit for so long, then they say, oh, see if you could do this. See if you could do that. Let's change this up a little bit.
I think that's a problem because that's the system that Kyle built. Like that's how you want your system built. Like you like, yo, we gotta when you got your top 53 players, you got your core, and then you drafting players to be ready for when their time comes. So this is part of developing. Now, I get go ahead.
If we pick a center or a right guard at 31, is he playing this year?
Absolutely.
Is he playing before week 5?
He's playing week 1.
Starting.
I
don't believe it. That's what I want to know.
I don't know why.
That's what I want to see.
Like, when the last time we drafted an offensive lineman in the first round? Mike McGlinchey. He started.
Banks. Wrong. Banks. And he was benched the whole year.
Banks had some
second round. He was second round.
Yeah. And he had some BS injury bull crap. I mean, he was overweight. It was a whole, but they didn't need Banks. That's my point. They didn't need him. So you
didn't need Mike McGlinchey either.
They didn't need Mike McGlinchey.
No, they didn't. They had Trent Brown here, and then they drafted Mike McGlinchey, and they traded Trent Brown right after they drafted him.
They didn't want Trent Brown, so they needed Mike McGlinchey. That's why they drafted Mike McGlinchey. So they needed him. He was, draft you first round, get your big ass out there, you start. I can tell you right
scared.
Now, if they draft a rookie tackle guard in the first round,
they're gonna try to move him to the other side.
They're going to the right side. Whoever it is, they're going to the right side.
I'm so scared, Wayne. I'm not gonna lie to you because you know what's gonna end up happening. The best available tackle is gonna be a left tackle, like Mike McGlinchey was, and they're gonna draft him and say, okay, now go to the right side.
Was Mike McGlinchey a left tackle?
Mike McGlinchey was a left tackle, bro.
I think he played both. The
Mike McGlinchey was a left tackle, bro.
All right. What I'm trying to say is that these guys, the 49ers, so that's another thing. When you talk about this draft, the 49ers draft swings, right?
No, they create swings.
No, Mike, they draft. Look, all right. I tell you what.
You about to semantics me, and you're going to be right with the semantics. You're going to say that they drafted this guy, he played here before.
Because I'm gonna get it. When the Niners scout players, bro, I swear they check PFF and they be like left guard, left tackle, guard, center bar. Like if you play one snap, you played that position. I'm telling you,
you're gonna semantics me. I know what you're gonna do. I know you're gonna go there. You're gonna get the whole breakdown, and you're gonna be right on the technical because that's what they do in college. I get it. They go out there and they get these guys and they move them all over the place, and it drives me crazy, bro. It absolutely drives me crazy.
we got a quick report status about the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. So Matt Mayoko just reported that 49ers Kyle Shanahan has interviewed Brandon Staley, Nick Sorensen for the defensive coordinator jobs. Those are the only two that have been mentioned. Okay. All right. And Daniel Bullocks is going to get interviewed later this week.
We about to go watch the combine. Don't know who our defensive coordinator is going to be.
Well, we did that last year, so what's the problem?
What's the problem?
We did it last year.
And he's fired already.
He got fired because he didn't
And the defense didn't look good for the first 6 weeks of football.
Defense looked really good for the first 6 weeks of football.
For the first 2 weeks of football.
It was, my point is the defense looked, you said, so how you gonna say that they didn't look good for the first 6 weeks? That I said they look good for the first 6 weeks, and then you correct me with the first 2 weeks. That means they looked good at some point.
Because the first 2 weeks, the points were down. Listen, hear me out. I'm gonna tell you. I got an answer.
You're right. The points were down because the defense was good.
All right. Or we played bad offenses. I'm just gonna leave it there. We played some real bad offenses the first couple of weeks of the season.
The first time the defense gave 100 yards up rushing was against the Browns, bro.
But we didn't play anybody that had a good run game. We didn't play anybody that
didn't even have a good run game. They just kept pounding the rock.
Not true.
Look,
it's not true. We played the Steelers.
Yep.
And we played the Rams. Neither one of them had run games, bro.
Yeah, Kyron Williams went to not rushing.
He didn't show up until week 5. He ain't show up till week 5.
When we were talking about, he caught a touchdown.
He didn't show up as a player until week 5, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
That played in that game.
Kyron Williams.
I can't. I don't understand.
He didn't show, bro. He physically was there. He didn't do anything.
He did. He caught a touchdown. Like he was a back out of the backfield. That's what I'm saying.
He ran one in too. What I'm saying is we didn't play a team with an established run game.
It was week 3
until much later.
And then week 4, and then week 5 is when we played the Browns.
Week 3 was the Giants. Go ahead. I dare you. I dare you.
They had Barkley. He's a top running back. Next.
Matt Breida was their back, bro. It wasn't even him. It was Matt Breida. He didn't even play. All right, the Cardinals.
James
Conner. Go
Conner.
ahead and tell me James Conner.
He didn't bully us? Ain't that the game?
He ran for 52 yards. No, he ain't do anything.
But he's a top running back. That's what I'm trying to say. And ain't that the game him and Hufanga got into it? At the end of the
maybe. Yeah. I think that was the one. That was the one.
5 was the Browns, right?
No, week 5 was the Cowboys. Tony Pollard ain't doing anything.
And then when was the Browns? Week 6?
Browns was week 6. We were 5-0 when we played the Browns. Yeah.
Neither, and we got beat by dude that just got hired off the couch, and Kareem Hunt, and Jerome Ford.
That was a team that was going to keep the ball on the ground and commit to the run game. Then the Vikings went out there and ran for 1 trillion yards on us also.
Did they?
It was Kirk Cousins. It wasn't Addison. Madison.
I couldn't remember because I got their running back and he was trash.
and then there was the Bengals, and Mixon had over 80 on us. Like, bro, I'm just saying that early we got saved because we didn't play any real good teams. Offensively, we didn't play any real good teams. And so this could be the problem when you're going out here to scout these players and you about to draft these guys and you don't know what your system is going to be.
It could be the problem, but that's wrong because we know what the system gonna be. So that's wrong because the system is the system. The system isn't changing. I don't give a which one of these defensive coordinators get the job. The system ain't gonna change.
4-3 is 4-3, but scheme is different, bro. I'm sorry.
I don't think the scheme was even different. I think his philosophy on how to attack was different. So like the scheme was still the 4-3 and we're gonna mix some blitz. We blitzed before. I just think Brooks was more relying on the blitz And I wonder if that's because he came out of that 3-4 system. I'm just curious to know, because you got faster linebackers, faster edge rushers. I'm just curious to know if that is his philosophy. And he blitzed a lot with his DBs. Mike, think about the teams that bust our ass this year. Who was getting to us? DBs. Like that. I'm not saying Steve Wilks was great, but I just don't think that the team bought in to his philosophy. And maybe they should have. And maybe we would have saw a different result. But at the end of the day, he not there. The system is going to be the same. So if you say scheme, I get what you're saying, Mike. Like, you want your defensive coordinator to come in there so that they could get a pick or two. But at the draft, he was hired in March. So at the draft, he was already scouting. Like, he knew he won. He got Jair Brown. That was his pick.
We got Jair Brown and Isaiah Oliver.
He got a whole, but no, he got Isaiah Oliver in free agency, but he got just Brown was one of his guys. I think D Winters was another one of his dudes that he liked, because he liked them faster coverage type. He's a coverage dude.
Yes.
And I think then Johnny Holland probably was able to snag a Jalen Graham, because he still want to have a linebacker, like a tackling machine.
Right.
So it's a process. So like when we ask, like, who's the mastermind behind it, I think it's still Kyle Shanahan, because at the end of the day, he telling them what to do. Like, I want this system implemented. I want you to write it like this. That's a micromanager for that ass.
I don't. Yeah. The freaking problem. I got color today. I can't tell if I look angry. I look so red. Like, I got color. I don't understand what's going on. But like, I don't want him doing that. I don't want him doing that. Like, bro,
Mike, he has to know you to not do that, right? I don't think he did that.
He's going to do it all year. Then
now,
do it all year, no matter.
He picks Nick Sorensen or Daniel Bullocks or somebody inside, because I think they built that rapport, just like D'Amico Ryan, Robert Saleh. But I've watched Kyle veto them too. We acting like Kyle ain't veto those dudes, like, or override they stuff. That's just
he ain't disrespect him the way he did Wilks. The looks that he was giving Wilks, I never seen him look at Saleh like that on the sideline.
He did not disrespect, because Saleh would have whipped that ass. He ain't. Look at Saleh and look at shit.
Never look at D'Amico like that, bro.
And we already know. Kyle don't be messing with them ball-headed dudes, man. See, Steve Wilks should have taken his head. He might have had a different.
Which one of these prospects is bald?
Oh, shoot. None of them.
Staley, not bald.
Oh.
Sorensen?
None of them. Oh,
none of them?
None of them. Not even Sorensen, dog.
He's not bald. What's the other name on there? You say interview Staley and who?
Daniel Bullocks. I want is he bald? I don't know.
I'm looking it up now. Yeah. It's a low cut.
Caesar.
he got this low. Nah, it's not really bald, but
low Caesar, bro. It's a low Caesar. It's a low Caesar. But look, I either wanted to be Sorensen or Bullocks. I'm not even gonna stunt. Like, them the two guys I want. Those are the guys that's been here. Those are the guys that's been in the system. And you bringing in Brandon Staley, and he's a 3-4 dude, and we already struggled with a 3-4 defensive coordinator trying to convert to this.
No, wait, whoa! I thought the Chargers ran a 4-3. They got both over there.
I thought they had
3.
Nah, they got, as a. Oh, are they 4-3?
The Chargers were a 4-3 for sure.
Oh, okay.
They had Mack and what's the name as the ends? Remember?
If you say so.
Now I got to look it up because I don't want to be saying nothing wrong. We got a super chat here. While I look this up, can you read that bad boy right there?
Yeah, Reyes in the building. He says the Niners need to hit on this draft. Our future is on this, because the last two have not been good. Getting 3 or 4 starters from 2 drafts is bad, and I'm kind of look. I agree with you. Javier. And then
3-4.
I tried to tell you, but I just don't be knowing what I'm talking about. But
it was a 3-4.
That's my point.
What did they have Bosa playing in a 3-4?
He didn't like the 3-4. You know what I mean? Like, but that was the defense. That was the scheme. that they win with. Bosa's a 4-3 end. Why do you think he probably won out?
Yeah. Now, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Linebacker. Like Mac is that. Mac was that with the Bears. Mac, that's Mac.
Interesting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off the super chat.
No. So I like what Javier says. It's funny because I agree, but I disagree at the same time. Because we just got a plethora of picks, right? 11 picks. That's a lot of picks. And we're not necessarily, I don't think we need all 11. There's a possibility that they try to package some up and move up in the first round, which I wouldn't mind if they did that. That just means we're going to probably lose second round pick or one of the third round picks if they can try to package up and move up a couple of spots, depending on how far they try to move up. You know what I mean? So I don't think what I agree with is that they need to hit on this draft. What I disagree with is they don't have to get all 11 right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to figure out what's that is there a percentage that you you draft 10. If you can get 4 of those 10, that's good, right? That's 4 out of those 10 players developed into money players. Like, that's how I'm looking at it in the future, right? So you get all 10, and if they all 10 hit, you hit. Because look, Mike, I've been studying the salary cap, bro. Like, I've been studying it. I've been doing my homework. I want to talk about it. I don't know if we should save it for another show, but I know the money went up. But the Niners is broke as they broke. Like they still broke until the restructures happen. But when you look at that money, Mike, 250, let's just say 255 million. Let's round it down because it's a little bit over, right? When you look at that money, take 15 million off the top for your rookies and your injured reserve players, which are on the roster, right? Like they're just independent contractors, day by day, week by week, or whatever you want to call it. And you got to pay those dudes, right? Take 15 million. That's 240 million. Mike, have you looked at our top 51 players yet?
No. Now I'm about to.
Okay. How about you get the calculator out? Okay. Can you get the calculator out for your boy? I'm going to give you the top contracts and watch how it eat up that 240 million real quick.
Oh, no. See, you playing. It's right here. I got the top 51 already right here. I could tell you the exact amount.
Oh, you got that number. What's the number?
$287,276,967. Top 51.
That's impossible. They're going to have to cut more players. No, that number at 240. So he's Oscar says 6 million is how much the rooks will cost. I'm overshooting it. I included the rookies. I included the players that are going to be on the IR. I included the players that are going to be on the practice squad too. I just rounded it off to 15 million to cover all of that. Like to cover all of it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey,
that's a lot, bro.
So 240 million. So we're kind of 40 million.
No, 287, bro.
Right. So we had 255. So we got to
crazy.
We got to get under 255. So there's going to be either more cap casualties or there's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Or then you got to add the money from last year that rolled over too. So.
Right. Well, that's where we get saved because we rolled over quite a bit.
About 40 million. So
2023 rollover was nice.
Right. Which could essentially probably take care of the Ayuki situation. So listen, the Niners are going to restructure some players. There's a rumor out there saying that Fred Warner is one of the players that's going to be restructured. So we'll see what happens.
All right. I know we got to go. And I know we were talking about the draft process and all that stuff. Staley is a young defensive mind.
He's a good
defense. Kyle could grow together.
Yeah, I'm not going front. Like
him and Kyle could grow together. Would you mind seeing that? If I told you for sure he's staying for 4 years?
I'm just concerned about him running a 4-3 system. So now you got to dig back into his crates and show me where he was on the 4-3, where he ran that 4-3.
I want to see what he was like in passing downs, bro. I can't imagine him running 3 linemen out there. That's crazy. I get it in down. I get it in like your base. I get it.
Yeah.
But are you telling me it was 3rd and 12 and they ran a 3-4 front? That's nuts to me. You're not running 4 linebackers out there on 3rd and long. Like it's a passing down.
Yeah, but you could send. If you got 2 good coverage linebackers, they drop back. It's the Mike 3-4 is weird because those 2 outside linebackers are really edges. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I get
so.
That.
Yeah. I all I'm saying is, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Shanahan goes with Staley because of what you just said. He's young.
They can grow together.
And they can grow together. My issue with Staley is I don't think he's a bad defensive coordinator. My issue is going to be him running the system that's set in place. Because remember, Kyle said he doesn't really want someone to come in here and change the system, but he doesn't mind if they did. See?
Yeah, but he got to stop micromanaging, bro. Like, focus on your shit, bro, so we can get this together. Like,
but maybe he doesn't manage a guy like Brandon Staley.
I mean, who do you think? Because all right, we just saw him with the older guy that's been around the league for a long time, and Kyle was micromanaging him. So it's not about the elder statesman now. That's not going to do it.
He only did that Minnesota Vikings game, bro. I don't know what that scared Kyle Shanahan something serious. That's when it changed, because that's when he came out the booth. Like, that's when it changed. That game right there is when his relationship changed with Steve Wilkes. But it's crazy because Wilkes literally made the secondary better without his All-Pro.
Right.
Crazy. So, we can say, like, Brandon Staley was focusing on the offense, and I just didn't think he was a good offensive guy. Like, he was terrible when he was the head coach of. I mean, he has offensive coordinator, yeah, but I think if he results back into the defensive role, he has no choice but to come in here and make it work, because he just needs to let the defense be the defense and then tweak it. Like, just tweak it. You don't got to change nothing. 4-3, rush 4, drop back. That's how the Niners want to play. Yo, I was, you know what's funny, Mike? Before we get out of here, I know people don't like Bill Belichick, but you want to know what I loved about Bill Belichick, bro? I loved his defense. But here's what I loved the most. I loved how he changed it up. Like, I'll give you an example. Go back to his defenses where he would hit you with them premier pass rushers, right? Like they was just lights out, like every year. What did he start doing? The game changed. Guys started coming out with 3 wide receiver sets, and he started focusing on what?
What you mean?
The secondary. He stopped going.
As the game became more of a passing game.
He started making sure his secondary was locked, because he felt like you could generate the pressure. Mm-hmm. I think that's what Steve Wilkes was doing. I think that's what Wilkes was trying to do.
Right.
I don't know. Kyle needs to come around and say, yo, we got this secondary. They seem pretty good. We got to find a way to generate this pass rush, because the 4 ain't getting it. And that's why Wilkes was trying to blitz.
But that's what it's all about, bro. It's because the pass rush is not guaranteed to get there, but those guys are guaranteed to be back in coverage. If we can make them good, we got a shot on every play.
And that's what Wilkes did. So, like, I know people want to be mad because we couldn't stop the run and all that type of stuff. That's hard for me to blame Wilkes for not stopping the run when you got a defensive line coach not getting on his players for stopping the run. But it's his defense, so it was tough. But like I said, so with that being said, I want everybody to pay attention to this combine. There's 10 freaking defensive backs the Niners might draft in this draft. And there's one that they might just say, bump it. Let's get this guy in the first round. And they don't even go offensive line. Oh my gosh, I think 49ers Twitter would go crazy.
Yeah.
But you get another down guy. I like the kid Kyrie out of Oregon. Like 6'2", perfect size, doesn't get beat. And you got to remember, what's the names we got 2 DBs on the last year of their contracts. And who do you think might be retained with the Niners? Lenore, Ward,
Thomas.
I didn't even think about Thomas. We got 3 DBs. I don't think that they bring Thomas back. But Lenore or Ward, like which one you trying to bring back?
I would prefer to bring back Lenore.
So then you draft Ward's replacement in this draft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it, man. Listen, I think y'all a little tougher on Staley than y'all need to be. But, we'll see. We'll see. People don't become head coaches for no reason. They had to be doing something right. And usually those coordinators that get those elevations, they fail but go back and kick ass at the coordinator position again. So
let me ask you this question, because I know a lot of people say that we need to prioritize the offensive line, and I understand that, right? But let me ask you this question, Mike. If the guy you want isn't there at 31, are you just drafting anybody to play that tackle position?
You asking me my personal opinion?
Yeah.
My personal belief. So I think that you have a couple of guys that you expect to be there in the range of where you are. If those 2 guys are there, you get one of them. If they're not there, you know who's expected to be around come pick 62. So
let's say your top DB is there and your second best offensive lineman is there. That's the better scenario.
Right.
Yeah. Who you drafting?
I can't trade back. You telling me I have to draft right now?
31. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take my top DB because that means he probably fell.
That's why
you take the guy that's the best available.
And there you go. I just want you to say the words best available off of your big board, and that's why I said if there's a cornerback, Niners need a corner. I know people don't think we do, but we definitely need a corner, right? We also need offensive linemen. We need tackles. We need guards. We need a center. But it all comes down to their big board, not our big board. Now, me personally, if Jackson Powers Johnson is sitting at 31, which there's no way in heaven or hell he should be, but if he's there, I don't give a fuck about nobody else in the draft. I'm getting my center for the next 10 years. Like, I got a center, and that's the guy you go get. That's who I want, but it might not fall. Now, you just gave up a scenario where there's a possibility you could trade up, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the tackle
or back,
but you trading back now. You trade back into the second round, or you're gonna trade with the Chiefs?
No, you trade back into the second, and what you do is now,
as you say,
you might be able to get the corner that you still like instead of taking him a little too early.
Correct.
And you're gonna have another guy right there that you can still get, that the other offensive lineman. That's only if you can trade back into a respectable spot.
My favorite offensive lineman in this draft for the 49ers is the kid out of freaking Oregon State. He would come in. He's gonna go top 10. That's the guy. That's where the Niners wish they were drafting right now. Mm-hmm. Like if the Niners, if they knew they were gonna get their ass whipped in the Super Bowl, they should have just said F it and got the top 10 pick. Like that's like they shouldn't even win. That's the kid that they want. That kid, white tackle. Oh my gosh, I can't even describe it. Zone blocking, pass blocking, run blocking, everything. He's just good. Like he would be perfect. The only way the Niners could get him is if they move up. Now, if he somehow falls, I mean, there's a bunch of tackles, right? There's Mims from Georgia. There's the kid from the kid I like from Oklahoma, Guyton. There's the kid from BYU, Kingsley. The kid from Duke, Graham. There's a bunch of guys, but there's only one guy I think that would be worth moving up for in this draft, and it would be him at tackle, and it would be Jackson Powers Johnson at center. Other than that, you figure it out.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see, man. All right, guys, listen, that's going to do it for today. This was fun. I can see how these episodes are going to be long, especially as we start talking about the prospects and stuff like that. That's when we're really going to turn up and have some fun. So I can't wait to get there, man. This whole draft process is going to be interesting. The Kyle state of mind is basically where we need to be going forward. What's up, Bear? You wanted to come and say hi to everybody on TV? Okay. Can you get your big head out my face? All right, we're going to get out of here, man. No team is safe.
I'll take Graham. The kid Barton from Duke. I don't know why I said Graham, but his name is Barton.
That's going to do it, guys. I can't wait to come back tomorrow, man. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. Make sure you guys have those notifications turned on. More shows coming on both channels. Make sure you are subscribed to both. Thank you all for your participation. And guys, go out there and love each other, all right? No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. I'm Mike. That's Wayne. And this is No Harm, No Foul. Peace.